So we're asked to solve this triangle. We know what little a, we know big A, big C. What we're looking for is what is big B, what's little c, and little b. Now if this was a right triangle, we'd use the Pythagorean theorem, but what we're going to use is it's not a right triangle, so this is the adjusted Pythagorean theorem. You know, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. But so law of cosines. Finding b is going to be the easiest part because all three angles of a triangle have to add to 180. So we're going to take 180, so b equals 180 minus 36 minus 109. So subtract off the other angles. And with that we get 180 minus 36 minus 109. 35. So this needs to be 35. So that's one of our solutions. We'll put it over here. Big B is 35 degrees. Then now we need B and C, little b and little c. So we'll put places to put those guys. Okay. So let's go with this the law of sines. Now that we've got the b angle, we can find this. So we're going to get is that b squared equals a squared. Little a squared is 25. Oh wait, we don't have c yet. Let's see. B and c, 2bc. Looking for b squared is a squared. Let's see. That's right. Use we could use the law of sines first before we jump to this. So we need two. So little b is going to be equal to. So we've got one ratio. We've got a sine a. So let's use the law of sines first. So we get a over sine a, 25 over sine of 36. Has to be equal to little b, which we don't know what it is, but we can only do one unknown at a time, over the sine of b, which we just figured out. And so that's, you see why it's really important to get everything. I mean, if we miss the first one, if we make an error on this 35, then everything else is also going to be wrong. But we didn't. So we cross multiply. We get that 25 sine of 35 degrees is equal to b. Actually, let's just multiply. We don't, because we have to solve for b anyway. So we'll just multiply both sides by sine of 35, and then we divide by the sine of 36. Those are pretty close, but they're not the same. So that'll give us b itself. Okay, and then we can use, you could use the law of sine again if you wanted to with another. Yeah, you don't have to use the other one. Maybe that'd be easier. Have your choice. Again, 25 times the sine of 35. Before I go too far, let me check my mode. Yeah, we got to be back in degree mode, not radian, because we're dealing with degrees. Let me go second calc to get back. So I hadn't hit entered yet. And then we multiply by not multiply, divide by sine 36. So I think they have us do it to one decimal place. Is that, let me check. Around the nearest tenth, yeah, one decimal place, 24.3, 24.4. with little c, again, since we're already along this line, we could use, because we do have we do have the angle, we could just use law of sines. This, yeah, I don't want to square. We could use one of the others, but let's not, because then you get some rounding errors. So let's set up c with the law of sines. So little c we don't know. And let's just use a, because a is something that they gave us, right? So we're going to do this again, 25 over the sine of 36. It's always just safest. In case I made an error here, then I would only lose maybe 2 of the points. I'd be okay. Little c, and then they gave us sine of c, a sine of 109. Okay. And again, we just really multiply both sides by sine of 109. It's a lot simpler than using the cosines. So 25 times sine of 109 divided by sine of 36. So we plug that one in. Careful, you have to have the parentheses and then the divide, sine of 36. And close the parentheses. And we get 40.21. So c equals 40.2. Round it to the nearest tenth. And those check out. Okay, solving triangles.